Hello, everybody. So I have a question for you. Would you like to be 22 times more effective in your business, 22 times more effective at attracting your ideal client, and 22 times more effective at standing out from the crowd in your niche? Well, stay tuned for a very simple strategy to help you be more effective and memorable in your business. I love that music. There's nothing like some upbeat music to get you in that high vibe mode, and it just makes everything so much more fun in your business and in your life. So, I'm Elizabeth Johnston, story and creativity coach, and I help authors and heart centered entrepreneurs attract clients they love to work with. Now, if you look at many of the websites out there, you'll see a lot about credentials and accomplishments and certifications and education. And those are all good things to have, they're necessary. But when a potential client or joint venture partner interacts with you, it's about whether they get why you do what you do, right? It's not so much at the beginning about what you do, it's why you do what you do, because that is the way that you build a relationship. And the most effective way to build a relationship with either a potential client or a potential joint venture partner, or even on your website to start building that relationship, is through story. And now the research shows that story is 22 times more memorable than facts and data. So oftentimes, I mean, have you experienced this? You go into a networking event and somebody is just trying to sell you their stuff and they don't even know you well enough to determine that you need it, right? So they don't even know you, but they're always already trying to sell you their stuff. And they don't even know if they really want to work with you because they don't know anything about you either, right? When you just jump into, selling your stuff, you miss this crucial point or this part of the process of building a relationship. Because when you share stories, you're able to attract people to you that resonate with why you do what you do. And I'm just about to sneeze. Excuse me. So, and when you're sharing stories, you start to feel more comfortable with the person. You start feeling like, oh, that's what they're about. Because if there are, three people at this networking event, let's say, that all do the same thing, you all have the same credentials, you all have the same amount of experience, you all have the same amount of awards, everything across the board is exactly the same. Well, probably the thing that's going to help you make a decision amongst those three is that one person has their story ready and that they lead with their story. Because once you start leading with your story and say like, hi, I'm so and so, and they say, oh, that's so interesting, and how did you get into that? And then you say, well, I started that because of, and you go into your story. And of course you're watching the behavior and the non-verbal cues from who you're listening to see whether to go in detail or just a little bit. But the idea here is that you start with a little bit of a story about yourself, and if that person is interested, then they will say, okay, and ask you more questions to dive deeper in that. And of course it's a two-way street, so at any point in that conversation you can say like, oh, but tell me about you and what's your story. And you can even be that direct, because we love stories. We're hardwired for stories. They are how we learn about who we are and what the world is all about. Think about when you were a kid and all the stories that you heard about the funny visitors that you had, or funny relatives that you had that came over, once a year at Thanksgiving or whatever the holiday was. And you understand who people are through the stories that they tell about themselves, but also the stories that people tell about those people. So, uh, and we, because stories are so ubiquitous, I mean, they're everywhere, and it's just like breathing. We kind of overlook it, and don't realize how important story is, not just for getting more clients, but for getting clarity on who we want to serve in our business and getting clarity on the direction that we want our business to go in and our life to go in. So, stories are essential for how we show up in the world and how we attract people out there to us. And so, the other aspect of stories that's really important to realize is that people make buying decisions based on emotion. And then they justify that emotional, often unconscious decision with seeking out rational data. So they make this story, they make a decision based on the emotions because they have a story in the inside of them. They have this issue that they want to transform. And the story is like, oh my goodness, I need this to fix this inside of me. Okay, I need this program to fix this thing that's going wrong in my business or that's not as effective in my business. So they have this emotional reaction. They make a decision. Yes, I really want this. But then their rational mind gets them to take a step back. And that's when they seek out all of that other stuff. So yes, you want your credentials, your accomplishments, testimonials, certifications, awards, any of those kinds of things. They will help to make that decision. And so going back to those three people at the networking event that all do the same thing. And so they all have the same credentials, accomplishments, certifications, education, experience, everything is the exact same. And they're equally good in what they do. But the one that has that story that says why they do what they do is going to draw you to them much more easily because you'll see like, oh, okay, that person really gets me. That person understands where I'm coming from. There's so many things that story can help you with in that client generating process that facts and data alone just cannot do. And so if you are wondering how can you use more story in your business, then I'm really excited to share with you that I'm having a 3-day event coming up. And it's December 9, 10, and 11. It's a virtual online retreat. And it's about how to unearth all of those stories that you can use in your marketing. It's called Tell Your Stories. And I'm going to give you the info here where you can find out more information about Tell Your Stories. It's at bit.ly/TYS 2022, as you can see going by on the scroll here. And it's $197 right now. Actually, it's regular $697, but the early bird price is $197. But because it's, Cyber Monday and Black Friday and all that stuff, so I have a limited number of scholarship tickets available. And so it takes the price down to $97. So instead of $197, you just pay $97 and you use the coupon code TYS, all capitals, 2022 to get that. Yeah, we're going to have so much fun and you're going to come away with so many stories that you can start using in your business. And the other thing that we do is get you comfortable about sharing stories, because that's one of the objections that oftentimes people will say, well, yeah, I have stories, but they're not relevant to my business, or it's my private business, and so we help you work through those blocks so that you can be more present with the person in front of you and establish a real connection through story. So check it out, bit.ly/TYS 2022. And we're going to have so much fun. So here you go. Check it all down here below Can't wait to see you. And they'll be dancing too. Of course.